This is Irontrader, and this is midday trading. So I want to take a look at some stocks here today. Take a look here at Tesla, which is moving up nicely. Apple, Google, Meta, PLTR, and IONQ. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy or sell any stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, before we get started, we have the old melt up that's continuing. Okay, today, so Dow's only up about 40, Nasdaq's up, I think about 35 here, and S&P's up about 13. Now, the key is going to be tomorrow morning at 8:30. I can't stress it enough. That CPI number, which is going to be measures the inflation, and then Thursday the PPI number that also measures business inflation. So that's going to be very, very key whether this rally continues or if we have a sell-off here. Okay, so let's just take a look here at Tesla. Tesla got downgraded twice, and I told you yesterday, if you watched my video, that doesn't mean dick. Okay, a lot of times when they downgrade, they have an agenda. They just want to buy the stock lower. Okay, so never read into that. Tesla's more than a car company. It's AI, it's self-driving, and this is all gearing up to the self-driving situation. This is why this stock is running up here. Okay, so just remember now, again, if that self-driving in Texas here turns out to be good, okay, this stock could rip much, much higher. Okay, so always remember that. Okay, we had a little issue there with the Musk and the team, man. That looks like that's all worked out. I don't know, that might even be rigged. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I mean, in this world here, I don't even believe it's even Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, let's just take a look at the charts. Okay, so here we go. All right, so you can see here where we had this huge just sell-off, and it was a really nice short. Came all the way down here to that 273.21 level. I was looking for right here. I was looking for right there at that 270.78 level. It didn't quite make it there, but it got here pretty close. Then we had like a ping pong action between the 50-day and the 200-day. Then we had this nice green candle here yesterday, went into the 100-day, and now look where we are, okay? But again, look where we are, right into the 8. See, this is why you trade the charts, okay? Don't let anybody tell you charts are after looking. No. Look at this 8-day. That's the key. Now, if we can get above this key 8-day, this is going to be key at 321.54 level. Then what we want to do is we want to come up right to the top of this candle here. You're looking at 324.55, okay? And then we're going to be starting heading right here to the bottom here, 327.33, okay? So we have a gap, we have that fill, and then we have this 21-day at 335.45 level, okay? But you have to close above this 8-day in order to get that. Now, we can get above that 21-day. Well, we got some nice targets up here, okay? 345 level coming up here. You got 348. We got 355, and then we have a big retest there at 367 level, okay? So, but just watch that 8-day. That 8-day right there is going to be everything on the upside. Now, downside, got to hold this 100-day. You're sitting at 308, but more importantly, this 200-day sitting right there at that 305. Long as we're holding that, we're in really good shape. Now, again, if that's lost, then we're going to come right down here, back to the 50-day, 293, and then we can come down to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 281.85, and then we have that retest at 273.21. Now, I just want to point out to you that down the road, now maybe today, tomorrow, whenever, if this does sell off here, we have this gap all the way down here, okay, at 244.43. There's your gap, and then we're going to look at the top of this candle at 242.79. We have a gap and a fill. So always remember, that's going to be your price target if we lose that price channel at 273.21 level, okay? But right now, we're looking good between the 200-day, 100-day on the downside and that 8-day on the upside. So just watch that 8-day. You get above that, and we're going to go right to that 21-day. That's going to be next. We lose this 100-day and that 200-day, then we're going to hit right there for that 50-day at that 293 level, okay? Now, we look at here, we got to like an overbought condition. Now we're here with a nice sideways action at 049. That's got plenty of room to run. Your green is still below your red, but we got more of a sideways action here now. So let's just see how this all shakes out. But again, Tesla for me is a trading stock. It's like a meme stock, but it's a trader. Okay, and a lot of people like to buy and they hold this kind of thing. To me, daily trades is where you want to be in the old Tesla. Now, if this does come off, an easy way to short this is TSLS. Okay, so just write that, put that on your back burner. Okay, let's take a look here now at Apple. Okay, here we have Apple. Now we have some sideways action kind of going. Now it looks like the market's coming off here a little bit, but that's no big deal. Okay. So here we have the old Apple. Now you can see here we're jammed up right in all this resistance here, okay? So we have this 8-day at 202. We have that 50-day at 202. Then we have this 21-day here sitting there at 204 level. So we're all jammed up right here, okay? This is very, very strong resistance. Now, if we get above that, and we'll look to yesterday's high, that's at 206 level. We'll come over top of this candle here. that 206.24 will come right up here. Looking at 208, we'll come up here. We're looking at that 209 level. Then we have 212. Then we have your big retest up there at that 213. Now, if we can get above that, we can go to the 100-day. Okay, we have the nice 100-day sitting there at 216, and then we have 224. Now, this isn't really my kind of a trade. This used to be a really nice trader, but they're so big now that it doesn't have that movement kind of a situation. You know what I'm saying? You might get a day or two like this here, but realistically, it just chops city. Okay. So on the downside here, you watch yesterday's low. You're looking at 200 flat there. We come down to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 196. Then we have a retest down there at that 193 level. Okay. So, then we can always look down here. We look at the bottom here. You got that 189 level. But right now here, this is just a sideways chop kind of a situation. I think they're waiting for something here. They had that big to do there yesterday. But, a lot of times those are buy the rumor, sell the news kind of a situation. So right now, this Apple is just a very, very good chop trade. You can see here at the RSI, it's just flat right here. So realistically, I mean, I would be a buyer once it starts getting above 213, and I would rather buy this on strength than just chop around here. But again, that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? They do pay a good dividend. So realistically, but we're right stuck in all this 202 area, 204 area. So right now here, unless we can get out and above this and start rising up, it's just going to be a sideways kind of an action. Okay, let's take a look here now at Google. Okay, Google's getting a little love today. You can see where we're breaking out. Okay, so what we're watching is this price channel right here. Okay, that 176.77. Basically, all that is just the top of this candle. Okay, 176.77. Now you can see here where it sold off here, but look where it did. It held a 21-day. Okay, I can't stress these charts enough, especially when you lose that 8-day. That 21-day is like a catch-all. Look at here. It lost that 8-day and it caught it up here nice. Okay, same way here. Caught it, and now she's rising right up, and now we're breaking out. Okay, so what we're watching, obviously, is today's high. That's at 181.11. Okay, so your next level we're going to come up here is you're looking at where we're looking at here. Okay, 183. Okay, we're looking at that 183 level, and then we're going to bring this price channel right across here. This is what we're looking for, is that 185 level. But really, what I wanted to show you here on the Google is, look at this gap and this fill. Okay, so if this keeps on running, this is going to be your big target right here, the top of this candle. Okay, 192.75. Okay, that's what you're looking for. There's your gap, and then we want to look to the bottom of this candle here at that 202.81. Okay, so your gap 192.75, and then right here 202.81. That is your fill, and then we have that 207. So if this keeps on running, as long as we hold, okay, this breakout at that 176.77, then we can shoot right here, and that's going to be your target, that gap, that fill, and then we have your retest. Now, on the downside, you can see how nice this is. See, the 8-day above everything, the 21-day, the 50-day, everything is curling up very, very nicely. So we have a lot of good support here. So watch that 200-day on support, that 171.45 level. That's going to be very key. If not, then we go right down to the old catch-all here at that 168 level, that 21-day. Obviously, if that's lost, we come down to 161, your 50-day. But this looks like it's really nice breaking out. Now, you look at the RSI here, you're not overbought here. Okay, this has plenty of room to run. Your green over your red shows momentum to the upside. Very, very nice. Now, I took a position in Google here today, and I'm just waiting to see here on this 176.77 if it holds by the end of the day. Okay, so right now Google is sitting at 179.10. I have a stop loss in there at 178.75, a little bit looser, and I'm going to see if that's all going to shake out. But right now, Google looks very good, like it just wants to go higher. Okay, let's take a look here now at Meta. Okay, here we have Meta. This is another one of my favorite trades here because this is in play. This is really in play. This is going to really nice breakout level that we had here off of this double bottom low situation. Okay, so what we got here, we're kind of like to an overbought situation. See how that green turned blue last time? We had a little extreme overbought, and then we got that sell down, but the whole market sold right on down. So let's just see if we can get a little bit sideways action. Just because it's overbought doesn't mean it can't hang that way like a little while. So, okay, it can go sideways like that. So say, don't ever think that it can't. And even if we had that small pullback, you know what I'm saying? But we've had a really good run up, so you got to be just a little bit careful here. Now, your green is over your red here. This is still looking very, very bullish here, okay? So right now, look at your 8-day up here. Look at your 21-day, okay, your 100-day, your 200-day. bottom left, upper right, looking very, very nice here. Now, okay, so what we're watching obviously is yesterday's high. That's at 705.19 level, okay? So what we're really key level here is 705.63, okay? So you came pretty much right there. Now, again, if we can keep rallying up here, you always want to look to the left of the chart here, okay? You're looking at that 710 level, okay? Then we come up here, you got 718. We'll rock it up here. You got 725. And then we can come up to the top of there. You look at 729. And then we have your big retest there at 74.91. Now, eventually, I think you're going to crack that 740 and you can go to that 1,000 area. I really believe that's going to happen. Not today, of course, but someday it will happen. On the downside, you just want to watch this 8-day, okay? 680.42. That's going to be very, very key. If that's lost here, we want to come to the top of this candle right here at that 662.67. And then we have your 21-day at 656 level, okay? So right now, everything is holding very, very nicely. Now, some ways say this gets hammered, okay? I always want to watch these gaps right here, okay? See this? 570.50, there's your gap, and then look to the top of that candle at 549, okay? Your gap and your fill. Then we have another one down here, okay? 516.52, your gap. Then look to the top of there at 506, gap fill. So always pay attention. If we start losing that 8-day, the 21-day, and it starts losing this, always look to the gap, okay, for your support level. If that goes, then we go to the fill, then down to the gap, and then to the fill is kind of a situation. Okay, let's take a look here now at Palantir. Okay, here we have Palantir. Now, again, what we got going here is we kind of got here almost like a negative divergence. See where we had this a high situation right over here, and now we have this higher high. So we have a high and we have a lower high. So we have a little negative divergence here going here. So just be a little bit careful with this. So basically what we have is just a sideways kind of an action. What we're really looking for on the upside is that 135.28. That's your breakout. Okay, you crack that, you're going to go to that 140 level. That's going to be, you know, your obvious thing, and then you can venture right on up. Okay, but on the downside, you really want to watch that 129.68 on a closing basis, and then that 21-day at 126. Now, again, if that's lost here, we just follow the candles down. You got 124, we got 121, and we'll come to the bottom of this candle right here. You're looking at that 118.93 level. Then we come down to your price channel at 115, and then we have your 50-day at 111. Now, again, if the market gets hammered here, okay, maybe these inflation numbers don't come out as good as what everybody thinks they are. You know, all these stocks are going to roll and going to roll hard. So just remember that, okay? But again, if an inflation number comes up, you can break out of here, okay? So just watch that 135.28. You crack above it, you're going to be hitting for probably 138 next, and then that 148, that 140 level. That is going to be your upside, your targets. But right now we got this sideways consolidation here, but just keep your eye on this negative divergence that's going on here. Your MACD is going on the downside here. So just be a little bit cautious here on here. So just wait for the information. Let it close above that 135.28. Don't say, oh, it pops up and pop and drop. You want to make sure that it closes above, then we can go higher. On the downside, again, just watch that 8-day, 21-day. If that's lost here, we just look for the price channel going on right here, and then we look for that 50 SMA. All right, let's take a look here at IONQ. All right, here we have the IONQ. Now you can see here we made that high at 54.74, had a really nice good run up, and then we had a nice sell down. But look at this nice run up that we're having right here, okay? So again, we were riding that 8-day. Look how nice that 8-day was running, and then it sold right off here. But you notice here, now that 21-day is holding up nicely. Now, today we had a little sticky. It popped right on up here and then came right on down. So on the downside here, remember, just watch this 39.59. That's going to be very, very key. Right below it is you got that 38.95 level. If that's lost, come to the bottom of this candle here, 36.80. Then we'll come to the bottom of this candle right here. You're looking at that 35.93 level, okay? Then we just follow these candles right here. You got 35.29 here. We come up here, top of this candle at 33.50. And then we got your 50-day and your 100-day sitting right around that 31.67 level. Okay, so that's going to be very, very key support here if this does sell off. And then we always, even if you lose that, you have this nice 200-day. Because look how nice this 200-day went up there, held it nice here. So then we just rallied right on up here. So we have a lot of good support, 8-day, 21-day, 100-day, 50-day, and 200-day simple moving average here. Now, we got to an overbought condition. And when you get that, you're usually going to sell off. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't stay up there for a while. But if you look at here, okay, how we had this high, and then we had this lower high. See how we had this negative divergence? This was still running up, but eventually that gets hammered, okay? So always remember. Now, again, it can go like this for quite a while. Don't get me wrong. But eventually it does sell off, and look what happened. Okay, so just remember that. Now, on the upside here, we want to watch yesterday's high, that 42.55, and then we'll go to today's high at 44.05 level. Okay, then what we do is we can look right here to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at that 44.65 level, and then really you're looking for that 48.94. Okay, so you have to break out. Now, if this does rally up here, we have to see what the reaction is. Does it break through, or does it just pop and drop like we had here, and then come all the way on down? Okay, so this is always the key level here on the upside is that 48.94 and then the retest. But always be careful with the retest. You have to close above that in order for us to go higher. If you can, then it's going to hit it, going to double top, and then we're going to come right on down. So downside, just watch that 8-day and that 21-day. That's very, very key. If that's lost, then we're going to be looking for that 31.67 level right there on that 50-day and 100-day. Okay, that's all I got for you. I'll be back here after the pit close. We'll take a look here at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look here at the indexes, which now have turned green again here. So again, we have a melt-up market here, but everything's going to be dependent on what that inflation number is going to be tomorrow morning at 8:30 and Thursday morning at 8:30. All right, trade what's in front of you. Now what you want.